Yeah, make sure you send those in. In the meantime, we're taking a closer look at a story we've been following this morning, one of our top stories, in fact. 4 NHL players are facing sexual assault charges in connection with that 2018 incident at a Hockey Canada gala. A 5th former NHLer surrendered to police over the weekend. He's also facing charges. There are questions about how the trial will play out, who else could be involved once it does go to court. Joining us this morning with more is Tanya Walker, a lawyer and managing partner with Walker Law. Welcome back to your morning.
Thank you for having me. Great to see you.
There's a lot of things we don't know yet, and we are getting an update from London police on Monday. And important to note that these 4 NHL players still have not turned themselves in, so we don't know specifically what the charges are. But we also know that Ontario's court system is dealing with significant delays that come from staff shortages. How could this affect this case?
Well, we still have to adhere to our charter, which is Section 11B, which provides that in the case of R and Jordan, that a criminal trial must go to trial within 30 months, if you take into account any other delays. But straightforward, it's 30 months. We also have to take into account that 5 people could be charged separately, and that could result in 5 separate trials. And what would probably make more sense in use of judicial resources is to have, if there is a trial, all of them tried together at once, so then the accused don't have to testify many times, and neither does the complainant.
The alleged victim in this case, we know, is identified only as EM in court documents. One of the requirements is that EM remain unnamed. Does that become more difficult once this case enters the courts?
I don't think so. I mean, it's up to the court, but the court can render a publication ban, which provides that her name is not to be provided, and I would not, or published, without serious ramifications. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in this situation.
What could this mean for other members of the 28 World Junior team? Could they be called to testify? Would they be brought in as part of this trial once it does head to court?
Well, they could be called in to testify, even if a person does not volunteer. That person could be summoned. But my experience with civil trials is that witnesses that are summoned usually don't want to really be there and may not make the best witnesses. But there is a chance that they might be summoned. There could be more people that are charged with a crime. As more information comes out and developments unfold, we will only see what will happen in the future.
We saw a lot of people when this went before a parliamentary committee. We did see a number of people interviewed, including people from the overseeing bodies such as Hockey Canada and Canada Hockey. Could we also see members again come back to court once this goes to trial?
It depends on what they're going to testify about, because my understanding is that this is an incident that happened after they won the World Hockey Championship. And so what witnesses were around during that period of time that could speak to what has happened, maybe even afterwards, but really what happened during that time. So it just depends on who was there at that function at that time.
What are the rights for a victim in a case like this? Do they have to testify? Do they have to be cross-examined? Do they have to speak at all?
I'm not sure because I practice mostly civil law. I would think that this person, the complainant or the victim would have to testify. I don't know if there would be a summons for that person to testify, but usually when you do testify, you can be subject to cross-examinations. And so that is a risk that may be taken.
Tanya Walker, I want to thank you for joining us this morning, especially as we wait until Monday to hear from this press conference when we learn full details and more clear details around this case. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.